Disney animation head John Lasseter is taking a leave of absence from Pixar after acknowledging painful conversations and unspecified missteps. He made the announcement in a memo to staff on Tuesday, before The Hollywood Reporter released a story detailing alleged misconduct by the executive. Lasseter's statement reads, "I've always wanted our animation studios to be places where creators can explore their vision with the support and collaboration of other gifted animators and storytellers. This kind of creative culture takes constant vigilance to maintain. It's built on trust and respect, and it becomes fragile if any members of the team don't feel valued. As a leader, it's my responsibility to ensure that doesn't happen, and I now believe I've been falling short in this regard." The THR story, written by Kim Masters, details numerous accounts of alleged misconduct. Sources tell THR that Rashida Jones and her writing partner at the time, Will McCormick, left Toy Story 4 early on after Lasseter made an unwanted advance. Jones and McCormick did not respond to repeated requests for comment. Disney declined to comment on the alleged incident, though a studio source said the departure was over creative differences. But based on the accounts of former Pixar insiders as well as sources in the animation community, the alleged incident was not an isolated occurrence. One longtime Pixar employee says Lasseter, who is well known for hugging employees and others in the entertainment community, was also known by insiders for grabbing, kissing, making comments about physical attributes. Multiple sources say Lasseter is known to drink heavily at company social events such as premiere parties, but this source says the behavior was not always confined to such settings. Sources also say some women at Pixar knew to turn their heads quickly when encountering him to avoid kisses. Some used a move they called the Lasseter to prevent their boss from putting his hands on their legs. A longtime insider shared a story about a woman he saw seated next to Lasseter in a meeting that occurred more than 15 years ago. She was bent over and had her arm across her thigh. The best I can describe it is as a defensive posture. John had his hand on her knee though, moving around. After the encounter, this person asked the woman about what he had seen. She said it was unfortunate for her to wear a skirt that day, and if she didn't have her hand on her own right leg, his hand would have traveled. The same source said he once noticed an oddly cropped photo of Lasseter standing between two women at a company function. When he mentioned that to a colleague, he was told, "We had to crop it. Do you know where his hands were?" Another former insider remembers awkward encounters with Lasseter, who liked, as many in the industry do, to hug in meetings. This person says, "You'd hug him and he'd whisper in your ear a long time. He hugged, and everyone's looking at you, just invading the space." It's hard to overstate Lasseter's value to Disney. He's known as the genius behind Pixar films from Toy Story to the upcoming Coco. He took charge of Walt Disney Animation in 2006 and led a revival that included such gigantic hits as Frozen and Inside Out. Pixar films have grossed over $6 billion at the domestic box office. The studio is currently working on a sequel to The Incredibles and the fourth Toy Story installment. Walt Disney Animation will release the Wreck-It Ralph sequel next year. For Kim Masters' full story, head to THR.com. And for the latest entertainment news, be sure to click right over here to subscribe to our THR News YouTube channel. I'm Tiffany Taylor for The Hollywood Reporter News.